Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Game Changer. I'm Mariam Zia. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is often referred to as game changer for the region, and it has also transformed the landscape of economic cooperation between Pakistan and China. This year, Pakistan is celebrating the 10th anniversary of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and the MOU on Cpec was signed on 5th July 2013. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is basically a flagship program of BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, and of course this is a comprehensive framework of different projects and initiatives that are aimed at regional connectivity as well as for the social economic development. In today's program, we will be talking about multifaceted aspects of Cpec, the progress on different projects and how this Cpec is considered as a lifeline for Pakistan and what it means for the region as well. To discuss this and more, we are joined in the studios by Brigadier Hamid Rashid, who is expert international affairs. Welcome to the program. We're also joined by Dr. Zia Shamsi, who is expert international affairs. Welcome to the program. And we're joined online by Dr. Hasnan Javed, who is economist and expert international affairs. Welcome to the program. Brigadier Hamid, let me start with a very basic question. What are the primary objectives of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and how do you see these objectives aligns with long-term economic policy of Pakistan?
I think as we talk of the Cpec, as you already highlighted in your intro also, that is basically an offshoot of the Chinese, that is Belt Road Initiative. And in this way, they wanted connectivity to the economic markets which are available in the world, and Pakistan provides an ideal transit route to them if they have to go to the Indian Ocean, up to going to the Gulf for the energy and going to the Africa for their economic markets. And in that Cpec, there were three basic initiatives which has been given to Pakistan for the economic growth. First was the road and railway network, and also the digital connectivity through the OFC, and second was also the energy sector. Pakistan was facing scarcity of the energy, and they wanted to mitigate our energy crisis. And third was basically the long-term plan, that is the establishment of special economic zone and also investment in the agriculture as well as in tourism. And if we see that basically with Pakistan going for the long-term planning, Pakistan has divided this growth into three parts. First is basically almost we are completing with that. That was basically the early harvest project that is up to 2020, but now we are in 23. There's some certain delay, but when you go for certain big progress, there has to be certain delay to be accepted and admitted. And in that, we have been able to get a road network developed as well as the 7,000 megawatts. Of course,
and we will be talking about these infrastructure development projects later in the program in detail at length. But when we talk about China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, of course, this has strengthened the bilateral relations between Pakistan and China. In what sectors do you see that both countries have benefited from each other? Because, of course, Pakistan's strategic location as a bridge between Central Asia, South Asia, and Middle East is very important, and of course, that combined with China's economic excellence that presents us with a huge potential for Cpec.
Yeah, thank you, Mariam, for inviting me over. In fact, I have a problem with the title when we say that Cpec is a lifeline for Pakistan. I'll give you a different perspective.
Sure.
It's not that Cpec is a lifeline for Pakistan. Basically, it is Pakistan that is lifeline for Cpec.
Of course, because of our strategic location, we are the bridge.
Absolutely. And I think you would recall, and perhaps Dr. Hasnan would recall, I had given the idea of Misaka, that is Middle East, South Asia and Central Asia. Because through Middle East, we could connect to North Africa, and through South Asia, we could connect to Southeast Asia via Bangladesh and Myanmar. And through Central Asia, we were connecting ourselves with Russia and China and all. So Pakistan's strategic relevance was such that China perhaps thought it appropriate that it is better to go by road from the Chinese border all the way through Pakistan up to Gwadar and then connect it with the rest of the world. Though very late, perhaps the project should have started much earlier. However, why I am saying so is because I am privy to certain situation, and I have a small little contribution to this project. It was 2011 12, and Prime Minister was Yusuf Raza Gilani. When the first presentation on the project was made by the group ably led by Ambassador Farrukh Amil from the Forum of National Defence University, that is NDU Islamabad. I was supervising the study. General Javed Iqbal Ramde was guiding us, and General Farooq, the President NDU, was the approving authority for the presentation. And Prime Minister Gilani largely appreciated the presentation which Farrukh Amil made to him, and it was accepted and the groundwork started. However, as you said, that the final MOU was signed in July 2013, so that means it took about 2.5 years when the groundwork was done. However, at that time we did not made this acronym of Cpec, rather it was Pak-China Strategic Relations. So that is a contribution of NDU. The idea was to have connectivity and provide Pakistan's strategic location to the market where Chinese goods can easily move by road or by rail. Instead, that China goes all the way from the state of Malacca and takes more than 10,000 nautical miles.
Shortest route.
This was the shortest route. So Pakistan came forward and cemented our strategic relationship with China. China see it as a flagship project for Belt and Road Initiative. And in the last 10 years, I think Cpec has progressed very well, as Brigadier Saab said. But the small little delay is not because of any impediment, but it was the nature, and that too because of the pandemic. So the project got slowed by about 2 years, only because of the pandemic.
Of course, we will be talking about the progress on different initiatives and projects later in the program. But when we talk about Cpec, of course, Balochistan being part of this important initiative, and the strategic location of Balochistan is very important. So how do you see this has impacted the underserved areas of the country and different regions?
Yes, very important question. In fact, whenever you build infrastructure through the uninhabited areas, it invites people to migrate near the lifeline. And that is what has actually happened. The areas which not had seen electricity, not had seen road, not had seen any communication network, today, alhamdulillah, are connected through mobile networks, through the road networks, and through the other communication networks like hospitals and schools are being built on this network. The security has improved quite a bit, because if we want the trade and commerce to flow freely in those areas, then the security had to be strengthened. Pakistan Army deserves appreciation, and our law enforcing agencies deserve appreciation to ensure that the Cpec route is clear of all difficulties which were being faced earlier in Balochistan areas. And now, as we know that the large containers and ships have started to arrive in Gwadar, and the movement of goods and trade has started by road.
Of course.
There are certain areas which are being strengthened further, and the work will continue. As Brigadier Saab said, that the second phase will take us into the specialized economic zones.
Of course, we will
for
be
which
talking
the
about
preparation is underway.
special economic zones as well. But Dr. Hassan, when we talk about China-Pakistan economic corridor, of course, the upgradation of infrastructure and building communication networks has been an important objective of Cpec. So what is the progress of different infrastructure development projects in different parts of the country, and how this has enhanced connectivity in different regions?
A very important question. See, first I wanted to, clarify a few points that in past 5 years, what was the progress and how people can, and how optics can see the Cpec. I mean, those who think that the Cpec is not the lifeline or, vice versa, of course, this is a lifeline for the Pakistan and this is a lifeline for the China too. But let me explain that China has already taken this point to the whole world, and why the West is, I mean, little fearing about this issue, that it is a Belt and Road Initiative. Rather, Belt and Road Initiative, President Xi Jinping has changed the idea and given the word of the green global development. So, green global development is all about the collaboration, and just the collaboration, which is the main progression of the power sector and the infrastructure. So, what they did, the flagship project over there in Pakistan. So, what we have achieved in Pakistan in past 5 years is the China-Pakistan trade has continued to grow rapidly with the annual growth rate of 18.8% on over the past decade. 8,808 kilometers of the road network has been laid, and over the 8,000 additional megawatt of the energy has been added to Pakistan national grid with the commissioning of the 30 new energy projects. And a new 878 kilometer transmission line has been built in evacuate nearly about 4,000 megawatt electricity, and 820 kilometer long cross border optical fiber, which is very much important. Most of the Chinese investors are coming, and in a recent time, as I am in China, and I have seen the most, I have met so many of the, optic fiber, builders and the developers and construction, and those who are, technocrats on it. So they are working on the optic fiber, and they are coming to the optic fiber, but they have the few issues. Initially, 1 year back, they are having some problem by the railways, by the bureaucracy, and by the other things. But I'll explain it later. But this is now, after a very long time, they are happy a little about that they have changed, just because of the intervening of the respected military concerns, because they have taken a FIRC on the roll. So this is very much important, because our bureaucratic glitches are there. So now over on the
what is
optic
the
fiber
progress
cable,
on these
that has
infrastructure
been there,
development projects when we talk about specifically communication networks and providing digital access to the underserved areas?
So this is very much important. I'm just giving the point that there is a new 200,000 new jobs have been created. This is a markland thing which has been done, and then the various streams have estimates have been pointed out by the increase of 1 to 2% of the GDP to Pakistan. Now, your question is very much important, that how the
Digital
those
connectivity
area
has
which has
been
not been
improved.
targeted. So they have given the enhanced connectivity, energy security, industrialization to those areas, modernization of agriculture. Believe in me, they have the wonderful infrastructure of the agriculture. We must have to get this idea. Then is a contribution to the national socio-economic development agenda. So Sukhi Kinari hydro project is a northwest Pakistan achieved the hosting of the core component. This is what you're questioning on. And as of the 413 ton of the router crucial turning water into electricity was smoothly installed on the last of the 4 generating unit. Then is the successful hosting of the last rotor, which helped advance construction progress of the power station under the China Power Economic Corridor, which is Cpec, located in the Mansehra district. And Mansehra district is the completely, unseen area of the of Pakistan, what you can call it. But the Mansehra district has been a focused area with the district of the South Asian country in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area, and also it has resulted in this area is like the hydro project started construction in January 2017, and they have initially taken up the idea of moreover on the Balochistan area, where the Cpec aimed to connect the Gwadar port in the Balochistan province of to China northwestern region of the Xinjiang through the extensive network of highway, railway, and pipeline. Believe in me, this is the focal area which has never been explored. The Balochistan is most deserving area, and Cpec, focus area is the Balochistan, where it is, as it is very near to Xinjiang. So this is why the extensive network of highway, railway, pipeline, Another, they are focusing on the different areas like dry fruits, mountaineering, other minerals and mines, and they are
Right,
moving on to
of
the
course.
very different sides. And of course, they are developing the Bostan economic zone, which is called the under the special economic zone, and we are going for the Bostan economic zone. Once
Of course,
it
we will be
develops,
talking
believe
about
in me,
special economic zones as well. But Brigadier Ahmed, I want to talk about the importance and significance of Gwadar port when we talk about Cpec, because it is located at the mouth of Strait of Hormuz. So how do you see Cpec and the Gwadar port is important, and it has benefited the maritime interests of Pakistan?
When we talk of Gwadar, actually it is the focal point of the Cpec, because the Chinese, they wanted that their industrial zone over autonomous area should move to the Indian Ocean. And if we talk of the Indian Ocean, it provides China with multiple options. For example, if they want energy, the Gulf states are nearby, they can get energy from there, and it can transport it to China easily, and they can also reduce their time also. They have to go to South China Sea, they have to encounter the international waters and the American hegemony. And in case of Gwadar, they get easy access to the Gulf state as well as for the Africa. And the Indian Ocean region is the actually region which will be of extreme significance for the future century or the future time. And Chinese, they are mindful of that. Now coming over to the Gwadar port itself, it is a deep sea port which can provide them the multiple big ships coming to it, so they can reduce their cost of business.
Of course.
And secondly, with 1500 kilometers travel times, 3 to 4 days, they will be able to come to the Indian Ocean. Now the Gwadar port has been developed in a manner that apart from the seaport, it has got the largest aircraft terminal also there, the airport, and it is going to be inaugurated very soon. So Gwadar is becoming a major commercial hub, not for Pakistan only, but for the region also.
Of course, that's what I want to talk about, that this is very significant for attracting foreign direct investment as well. So what are some of the specific industries or countries that are showing interest in investing in different projects when we talk specifically about the Gwadar port?
If we talk of the commercial potential of the Gwadar, apart from China, I think the Gulf states, they also want to come and establish their terminals there, because as I said earlier, it will be a very easy access to the Gulf state and energy coming to Pakistan, and also going not only to the China but also going to the Afghanistan also, because it is also land-locked country. And on the other way, Afghanistan also can have free trade from the Gwadar. So not only for Pakistan, it has promised for the region, even for Afghanistan, going to Central Asian states and to China, and to some extent even it can provide certain access to India also. If the relationship with India gets better, so India can also benefit from the Gwadar.
Of course. So Dr. Shamsi, Gwadar port is very significant when we talk about China-Pakistan economic corridor and being part of larger Belt and Road initiative as well. How do you see that this can connect, like Brigadier Hamid also mentioned, that this is very significant for connecting different countries and regions as well. So how do you see this significance, and what sectors are going to be benefited most?
Yeah, the regional connectivity is the call of the day actually.
Of course.
And Pakistan is ideally placed to provide that. More than 40% of the world is around this place. And more than 40% of the world population can benefit with this regional connectivity that Pakistan offers. Because the topography of Pakistan is not very hostile, and it can easily provide landscape for China to build road and rail. The roads are already in place, most of them, and the rail work has already started. However, the stability in Afghanistan is very important. But as far as Gwadar is concerned, the airport is coming up, and a huge one. The port is almost ready. Now the areas that need to work upon is a digital highway, so that there is no breakup of communication through the vast uninhabited areas when the rail and road is moving and the people are moving. Then we can attract a lot of foreign direct investment from Saudi Arabia has shown interest in the setting up of oil refinery. UAE has shown a lot of interest. Malaysia has shown a lot of interest in joining Cpec. Russia had shown a lot of interest, but untimely war of with Ukraine is causing impediment in the progress of the Cpec. However, this is a temporary setback, and we will soon be on road, because that war perhaps cannot go on for indefinite period. This is not in favor of this will not be in favor of Russia, and this will not be in favor of other European countries as well. So I am very hopeful that Gwadar will attract a lot of foreign direct investment, and not only Gwadar, but the entire route all along.
Of course.
And we'll be able to build new cities. That is what our religion says.
Of course.
And that is what our aim is, to have mutual benefit with China.
Of course, mutual benefits with China, and for entire region as well. We are talking about the significance of China-Pakistan economic corridor for Pakistan and for the region, and we will be taking a short break here, and when we come back we will be talking about special economic zones of We are talking about China-Pakistan economic corridor. Dr. Hassan, when we talk about China-Pakistan economic corridor, of course, special economic zones are key component of this China-Pakistan economic corridor. And what are some of the sectors or industries that have shown interest in setting up their operations in different special economic zones? And what are some of the incentives that are given for providing a conducive environment to these investors?
See, the important thing is that the Cpec is focusing on the project is just not about the infrastructure development, but also establishing the robust economic relationship between the two countries. Now, they are only crucial of the China economic development, but also for the Pakistan economic growth and regional connectivity. The project will help the Pakistan to overcome the chronic energy shortage, which has been a significant impediment to its economic growth. Now, moreover, the Cpec project will create a numerous job in other sectors. The most probably the energy shortage, with the addition of the 6,000 megawatt of electricity to the national grid, reducing the power outage and the boosting economic activity. And then is the Cpec project has also helped the Pakistan development in the blue economy through the development of the Gwadar port. And as I told you earlier, that they have the segregated the economic zone into the 4 parts and the 5 parts. So in the total, we have 9 economic zones. I'm coming on to the point, but let me just recall and tell everybody and tell whole nation on the platform of the PTV World that we have the Rashaka economic zone, Dhabaji economic zone, Alama Iqbal Industrial Store, which is near to Faisalabad, Rashagai to the Cpec, Dhabaj is to the Sindh side, and the Bostan Special Economic Zone is to the Balochistan. And then is the ICT model of the industrial zone, industrial park on a Pakistan steel mill, Mirpur industrial zone, Mohammed Marble City, which is very much focused to the marble area where the tile and textures and other things would come over there. And then the Mukbanda Special Economic Zone, it has a reference. I'm referring to the Gilgit-Baltistan, which is a huge potential over there. Now, what are the special economic zone? What we are funding? This is very much important. People are asking about what we have gained so far and what we have funded and what Cpec related funding being spent. Where we have spent a lot. This about the 62%. So initially, the Shehbaz Sharif has. Prime Minister visited China in November, Pakistan, and proposed the spring of the joint memorandum indicating the timeline of a project milestone, but nothing was finalized. And under the project is a 1,733 kilometer route will be rehabilitated by the 482 underpasses, 53 flyovers, 132 biker bridges, and 130 station will be constructed along the route. And the ML1, which is very much important, start from the Karachi pass through with the Kotri and the Hyderabad,
right.
Rohari, and the Multan, Lahore, and Rawalpindi. So this would be the very important thing, and a very important thing for the transparency of the game changer projects. So it is also predicted that the Cpec will result the creation of the upward of 2.3 million jobs in 2015,
Right.
but it will be in 2013. And most important part, what I already told you, but there is a crucial part, that what we have not done is the Chinese are growing increasingly irritated by a few of the projects in the last year, and they are irritated by the project delays and problem. Mobilize funds on the Pakistan side. The Gwadar port poised to become the major logistic hub for the region and has barely been used by decades after the construction. So we need to emphasize on the reconstruction, mobilization of the fund over there in the Gwadar port,
Of
and
course.
we have to use
Of course, we need
as
to
early as
emphasize on
possible
that,
the-
but let's
the
talk
airport
about
and
the
air traffic.
incentives that are provided to the investors to attract investments in different sectors. What are those incentives that are provided to the investors, and what needs to be done to create a more conducive environment for attracting FDI?
A very important thing. See, we have given the path, we have given the direction. We asked the Central Asian state, we asked the UAE, Saudi, and now they are coming up to the part as that we have the special economic zone, as I earlier told you. But we need investment in the agriculture. We need investment in the optic fiber. We need, but technical investment on the specific part. We need investment in marble. We have the raw material, but we don't have the processing output unit. So try to understand this. This is a investment portfolio. When we talk about the net present value, we have, but taking about the raw material, taking about the other project, taking about the land we have, but we have to inject the investment by the payment or the money, you can call it. So three important things, 3 M's is the money, material, and the other things. So important thing is we must have to benefit from the other sectors. So agriculture is much important, and then
Of course,
is the dairy,
agriculture
and
is
then
important.
then the optic fiber area, and the infrastructure is for us, not for them. And but for the linking through the other zone, very important is the Gilgit-Baltistan. We have to open up the Rashakai zone, and then we have to develop the benefit out of it. So FDI will come out of it, but so far it is about the 62%, 62 billion of the rupees. Cpec is injecting more on it. But if there would be no delays, then we will not giving this path to the 70 kilometer after the Gwadar port to the Chabahar, and they have invested, China have invested 400 billion. So if we got not that the delay is being given, we might have the $4 billion of the projection of the Cpec, but still it is not that delayed. We have the collaboration with every other country.
Of course.
And
so
investment
let me
is the
take this
biggest in the
discussion to the studios. Brigadier Hamid, of course, Dr. Sani is talking about delays as well. Do you think that this recent standby agreement between Pakistan and IMF is going to contribute to move things ahead faster when we talk about attracting investors' confidence in Pakistan?
Surely, because any economic development taking place in Pakistan is going to have a ripple effect on investors as well as and for the community also. And if we directly address this question, Mariam, I would like to highlight that the special economic zones are basically initiative of Cpec, but because of the exchange rate going up and down, the economic growth of Pakistan gets affected. And as we have got now a substantial aid from the IMF, it is going to reduce financial pressure on Pakistan. And because of reduction of financial pressure,
we are already seeing confidence coming in. The price of dollar is, of course, going down.
There will be a, I think, advantageous balance exchange rate available to the investor, they would surely like to invest. And then with the economic stability coming to Pakistan, the trust and confidence of the investor will be much more.
Of course, and when we talk about Cpec, of course, socio-economic development is very important objective and key point for this Cpec. So what are some of the projects that have directly impacted the lives of people, specifically when we talk about those areas where there were not much progress going on?
I think this is very important aspect of Cpec, which is not known to our viewers. And I would like to highlight our viewers that apart from the major areas of Pakistan,
like infrastructure development,
their
energy,
infrastructure
security.
has also been developed, but that impact is not that obvious and visible. But when we talk of Balochistan, and especially talking of the far-flung areas like Avaran, Turbat, Jiwani and other areas, you see quantum improvement of the socio-economic life of the common citizen. The road network connectivity has provided them the facilities, and then the basic health unit, basic health facilities and education facilities. Now you see a cadet college coming up in Avaran, a far-flung area of Balochistan, how it is going to impact the community there. Now they will have a quality education available to their children at their doorsteps. And similarly, the basic health unit available to them are providing them at least quality life. And also with the improved law and order situation. Now, as we talk of Balochistan, there is a fear that the law and order situation is not better, but in the past 3 months, it has improved considerably. With the laying of their very two prominent Balochistan Liberation Army leaders, it has now given a thought to the people in Balochistan that while they come to the national mainstream, they can get more development and progress. And I think with the facilities coming on Avaran, Turbat, Jiwani and Makran, they will get the feel of the progress and also advantage of the Cpec.
Of course, Dr. Shamsi, when we talk about Cpec and any project for that matter, political stability as well as the security conditions are crucial. How do you see that government is and as well as Pakistan Army is taking enough steps to ensure the security and smooth implementation of different initiatives and projects under Cpec?
I think that has been a hallmark, and Pakistan Army deserves appreciation for that. Because those far-flung areas where there was no development earlier and there have been different movements, it would not have been possible to send the labor and machinery over there to build roads. So that has been a great effort on that regard. However, in order to mature the entire Cpec project, it is necessary that the socio-cultural bonds between the two nations are strengthened further, because there are a lot of Chinese workers now living inside Pakistan. There have been incidents of some security issues against them that created some ripples. However, they were resolved at the highest political office. But more people-to-people contact between the two nations, I think, will give more confidence to the Chinese coming in and working in our far-flung areas and staying in our cities as well for their families.
And but lastly, Dr. Shamsi, quickly tell us that when we talk about Cpec, there are certain concerns raised by Western media as well and different segments that this is more favorable to China and maybe this is not as much favorable for Pakistan's domestic industries. How would you respond to that?
I think we need to disregard the propaganda of the West. It has always been against us. It has always been against Pakistan. You would just recall Indian Chronicles. More than 750 fake websites were established in the Western capitals only to demonize China and Pakistan both. So we should disregard that. We should look at our benefits, and obviously anybody who is coming and investing will reap some benefits. Otherwise, why should he invest? So if China is gaining out of it, it is their right. But what we need to gain out of it, it is in our hand.
Of course.
Okay, and that's what we are doing it. And I think we are doing it, we are progressing.
Of course, we are progressing, and of course we are also witnessing tangible results and benefits for Pakistan when we talk about different initiatives of China-Pakistan economic corridor. And of course, we will be taking a short break here, and when we come back, we will be talking about Prime Minister's participation in the SCO Head of States meeting. Take a break. welcome back. We are talking about Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's participation in the 23rd meeting of SCO Council of Head of States in the video conference format. And of course, Prime Minister talked in this important meeting of Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Dr. Shamsi, this is very significant when we talk about cooperation and regional connectivity. SCO is in an important forum. How do you see the significance of today's Prime Minister's participation in this meeting?
Yeah, it was very significant, and it was a very important and a very comprehensive speech, as we saw and heard. Is spoken on nearly all subjects related to state terrorism, rights of minorities, and foreign direct investments, development through Cpec, importance and significance of SCO for the regional development and connectivity, because SCO is one organization which has progressed very fast, expanded very fast, and is one organization of this particular region which really threatens the all the Western organizations of the sort. So it was a very important speech, and it came at a very right time where India was busy in a lot of propaganda against Pakistan, and after Prime Minister Modi's visit to United States, calling for doing more to Pakistan against the state terrorism, etc. And moreover, Prime Minister's call for peaceful and stable Afghanistan were very important, very directly called the Afghan interim setup that they must make sure that their land is not used against any other state.
Of course, of course. So, Brigadier Hamid, this is very important because we know that SCO is a significant platform, like Dr. Shamsi also mentioned. So, how do you see that Pakistan, what is Pakistan trying to achieve by participating in this summit? What are Pakistan's key priorities, not only on this multilateral fora, but for bilateral relations with the SCO member countries?
I think this is very important aspect, and it has been addressed by the Prime Minister in his speech also. While addressing the SCO head of state, he has very clearly shown Pakistan interest in the regional stability, Pakistan role also, and also a very responsible gesture shown by him that he wants that the rights of minority, all those who are under stress should be helped, and all those who are under the poverty line, the poverty elevation also he highlighted. And as a regional development, he also set forth certain objectives for the SCO also. And Pakistan being a very important member of SCO, because we have seen, as Dr. Shamsi also highlighted, within the past decade or so, it has become a very vibrant platform for strategic framework for the region. And Pakistan being one of the very important geostrategic location by itself also holds certain promises for the SCO, as well as also want to contribute to the SCO. And with highlighting the Cpec economic growth also, he has also invited the SCO members to come for the economic growth and join Pakistan hand as well as the Cpec is concerned, and also has highlighted the regional connectivity which Pakistan boosts to the region.
Of course, and Dr. Hasnain, talking about regional connectivity, of course, economic cooperation and regional integration are also key aspects of SCO as well. So, how do you think that Pakistan is going to participate in SCO-led initiatives of connectivity and economic cooperation?
See, as we are in the crucial part, in the last meeting, the Bilawal Bhutto Zardari was there, and it was a magnificent, although they have, welcome in a very bad way, but somehow they have given the, impression that we are the powerful nation. We are the powerful nation in terms of the strong collaboration and strong part and strong integral part of the Cpec, which is the flagship project, and we are the potential game changer of the geopolitical and geoeconomic landscape with a greater interconnectivity of the infrastructure project, including the roads, ports, railways, pipeline, and nothing can go without the geostrategic importance of Pakistan. So they must have to understand, and they must have to take us on a very important note. So that's why the Premier has been, invited by the Prime Minister of India. He is very cunning and cynical guy. Of course, he is not, in favor of Pakistan, but of course, without Pakistan, they cannot deal with China. They cannot have a good relation with Russia. They cannot have a good relationship with the five Central Asian states and the other OEC countries. So they have to make the good relations. Although they have, the biggest and completely overwhelmed enemy of Pakistan. But of course, if there is an enemy, enemy, or there is a conflict between the Japan or China, although they have the biggest conflicts, but rather the conflict, they are behaving on the trade benefits where they are on the basis of economics. They have developed the trade relationship with the Japan. So same as the way we as being Pakistan, we are very much welcoming if they are welcoming too. If they are behaving good, we are behaving too. So in that way, so forthcoming CHS, the highest forum of SEO, the leaders would deliberately on the importance of the global and regional issues and chart for the future direction of the cooperation among the SEO member. And this year SEO, of course, would also be welcome Iran as a new member of organization. And this is very much important part and a magnanimous part, a perfect input by the Iran. So Iran and Saudi's input into the SEO, and soon the Saudi will be the part of the SEO very soon. But this is the powerful thing that when the Iran and Saudi, they are taking the benefit out of it when the Shia and Sunni are fighting together on the basis of the religion within the regional connectivity. Now there is no issue between the Shia and Sunni, and now Iran and Saudi is on the same part, which is economy, and on the same part. We wanted to have a good relationship, best relationship, rather better relationship with the India on the basis of trade, but on the basis of other thing, if they are creating the conspiracy in Balochistan, if they are creating the conspiracy in Afghanistan, we cannot let them go into that way. We have and we demand peace in Afghanistan, a complete peace in Afghanistan.
Of course, and that's what Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif also highlighted in his speech. Thank you very much, Dr. Hasnain Javed, for being with us in today's program. Thank you very much, Brigadier Hamid Rashid, for joining us in today's program. Thank you very much, Dr. Zia Shamsi, for joining us in today's program. We talked about China-Pakistan economic corridor and progress on different projects and initiatives of China-Pakistan economic corridor. And China-Pakistan economic corridor is a game changer for connectivity and peace for the region. That's all from the program tonight. Take care. Allah Hafiz.